guys, back at Farmer Pat here. Today I'm going to show you how I make the most delicious turkey burger that you've ever had. Let me tell you, my family, we were die-hard beef burger people. But then, with 2020, we were trying to start eating more healthy. So we started buying turkey burgers, but there's something about turkey burger I just didn't like. Sometimes the turkey is dry or the flavor was just off. So I started experimenting with different herbs and stuff from my garden, and let me tell you, I have created the most delicious turkey burger you have ever had. Let me tell you, I don't even want to eat a beef burger anymore. So any little change we can make in our life to be healthier without sacrificing flavor and taste, we're going for it. So this turkey burger has become almost like a weekly thing in my family, for my family. And I said, you know what? Why not show my people how to make turkey burger so they too can start eating healthier, plus get their vitamins in while they're eating. So let me show you what we use. So I just came out to grab some little herbs to put in there. So for my turkey burger, rosemary is a must. And let me tell you, I didn't even know much about rosemary until like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It's a wonderful herb. It is so aromatic. The flavors are beyond incredible. This is going to be enough for my burgers. It has tons of antioxidants. It has a ton of vitamins in there. I was just really shocked. It has a lot of properties that we wouldn't even know, a lot of health benefits. But I'll put a list up there. We're not here to talk about this. All right, so I have my rosemary. I'm gonna get some green onions. Get some green onions. Get some garlic chives. Let's see here. The key to the burgers is the rosemary and the garlic. So I think this is good. I have my onions inside. All right, let's get cooking. So I have my all-natural ground turkeys, just butterball turkey. You guys can get it anywhere, or if you prefer another brand. But it's ground turkey. It's the 85% lean kind. If you want to get it 90%, you can, but I find the 85% works perfectly for this. So I'm going to use about half of this. And I have my chopped onions. I have my little piece of Scotch bonnet that I keep in the freezer. What I do is when I harvest the Scotch bonnet, I always put some in the freezer so it's easy to get to. For the Scotch bonnet, this is 100% optional. I just love the flavor of Scotch bonnet. This is absolutely optional. I always use a little bit in there just to give it a little kick. I like the little surprise of biting the pepper. If you notice, I don't take any of the seeds. The seeds is really where the heat is. So I just use a little tiny bit of Scotch bonnet. So I have my diced onions. I have my garlic chives right here. For this recipe, I prefer to use garlic powder rather than the actual garlic because I don't like to bite on garlic, even though I do love garlic. But the garlic powder works fine. Be sure not to get the garlic salt because then you have added salt and it's, that's not good. But this garlic powder is great to me. Then this is number one of the 2 secret ingredients. This is the rosemary that I just picked. I have rosemary in my garden. These I have from not from seed. These I got from Publix. You can actually get the rosemary plant at Publix and then just grow it in your garden and it will get huge. That one is a relatively young plant. So I have my rosemary and I'm gonna dice this up because I don't want to be biting big pieces. But rosemary, I know it's a rosemary, not rosemary. Rosemary is a Jamaican name, but I'm Jamaican, so I'm saying rosemary or rosemary, whichever one. If you don't have the fresh rosemary, this works fine. This is actually Badia also, but any brand rosemary, if you have the dried rosemary, it should be fine. It's really a wonderful thing to keep. As I said, it's full of antioxidants. I heard it's actually anti-inflammatory. It helps with your memory. It hasn't really helped my memory yet, but because I'm kind of forgetful, but it is very, very beneficial. The way I see it, we eat these healthy foods today so that later they don't have to hook us up to an IV where we're eating our food through a tube or whatever, We stay healthy today, we stay active, we eat as healthy as we can so that we can live long and healthy. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. So we have My beautiful mustard green. Look at the size of this thing. This is enough for several sandwiches. I'll probably cut off the piece where it looks like somehow, I don't think something fitted. It probably just got shredded up, but I'll cut this piece off. But this is more than enough for multiple sandwiches. So I'm gonna set this aside because we want to keep that separate. I don't want any bloody meat to get close to that. I have my oil. I put like a tablespoon of, I'm just using regular grapeseed blend oil, but any kind of oil that's good for frying. I prefer not to use vegetable or corn oil. I prefer grapeseed oil for frying, or and then I like, of course, canola. I can use canola. So we're gonna use grapeseed oil today. I put like a tablespoon in. I'm gonna let it start warming up because this is gonna take literally 1 minute to put together. So what I usually do is this is a 3-pound box, so this is a lot. So what I usually do is I usually make extra and I roll them up, put them in little balls and put them in a Ziploc bag so I can make my burgers anytime. This recipe that I'm using like half, so call it like 1.5 pounds. And this recipe I'm using, you can use this to make meatballs. So if you don't feel like making burgers but you want to make meatballs, it's perfect for that. So I'm gonna just scrape this whole thing in here. So I have my diced onions, my garlic chive, some scallion in here, and I have my little bit of Scotch bonnet, right? So I just threw everything in here. Oops, so let me wash my hands because I just touched the raw meat. All right, we're gonna put a little garlic powder. Let's call it maybe a tablespoon of garlic powder. I like the taste of garlic. I just don't like biting down on the chunks. A little bit of black pepper. I am not using salt because I'm using my second secret recipe ingredient, my beloved oyster sauce. You guys know with my stir fry videos how much I love oyster sauce. I tell you, we tried several things. I'm sorry, to get a napkin. I tried several different things to get my 3 sons to eat turkey burgers. They got so used to eating regular burgers and I really wanted to make a difference. So I'm gonna put like 1.5 tablespoons of oyster sauce. This has salt in it, and that's why I'm not adding salt, because you can't take away salt, but you can add salt, right? So I'd rather start off like this to keep it mild. So this is literally all we need. A little oyster sauce and these ingredients, and then we mix it up. If I have time, what I normally do is I like to let this sit in the fridge for like about 5 minutes. So I think I'm gonna do that and come back. And the reason I do that is, if you see, when I take it like this and I try to form a burger, it's very, very soft. And it's very mushy. But if you let it sit in the refrigerator for like maybe 5-10 minutes, then it becomes a lot easier to form. What I also sometimes do is I add an egg to it. The egg adds as a binding agent so it holds together. But for now, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna form these. Literally, this is taking me a minute. I'm forming these. Then I'm gonna let it sit in the fridge for 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna come right back. And we're gonna make our burgers. All right. Okay, so I got my meat out of the fridge. What I did was I formed 4 burgers, and I'm gonna start getting these frying while I show you how I form these. So, as I said, I have 4 hungry men in my house. Well, right now we only have 2 at home, my husband and my youngest son. The others are away at school. So make sure that the fire is hot. You hear it sizzling. So it's on medium high, because you don't want to fry burgers with a soggy pan. And you can see I didn't use a whole lot of oil. Another thing I really love, I love a lot about turkey burgers, but what I really love is that when you fry a beef burger, there's a lot of grease after, and the grease gets hard and cold. If you ever fried a burger in a frying pan and then let it sit overnight, you see the thick fat. And that fat is what ends up in your arteries, in your body, and it's really not good. So what I love about turkey burgers, after you fry it, You don't see that thick layer of fat. Okay, so we're gonna let those start frying. Turn it down slightly to like a medium so they can fry, so you don't want them to burn before they fry. So like a medium. You can hear that sizzle, but it's kind of on a medium. I'm gonna also throw in some onions. Even though I did cook it with onions, me and my husband, we love onions on top of our burgers. So we let those fry also. Usually, we also love to add portobello mushrooms. We absolutely love portobello mushrooms. You don't even need meat when you eat portobello. But I don't have any right now. I have some shiitake, but I'm saving that for another recipe. So let me show you how the meat was different once it came out. So the meat was a little bit firmer. Before, remember, it was sticking to my fingers. Now it's like looser. So what I always do is, when I season up and I fry some, I put the rest in the freezer so I can easily get to it. So today we have 3 of us here, so I'm going to make 5 burgers. So everybody can have seconds. I'm only going to have 1 since I'm trying to watch that waistline. But the good thing about storing them is you freeze them tomorrow or next week. If I want to make turkey burgers, I can make it. Or I can break these in half and make turkey meatballs. The seasonings that I use are perfect for either burgers or meatballs. So these will not go to waste, and it's going to make it much easier for me next week when I'm busy working and I want some quick burgers. I can just throw these on even quicker than I did today. Another thing is, today I use rosemary, but I often use basil. I absolutely love making this with basil. Sometimes I use rosemary and basil, or there are times when I combine the basil with oregano. The point is, whatever you have growing in your garden, feel free to use it. It's going to be 100 times more delicious and 100 times healthier than anything you could get in the grocery store. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick, and then we're gonna come back and flip these. All right, time to flip them. It's been about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. So I'm gonna flip it now. Wow, look at that beautiful color, guys. Look at that beautiful color. At this point, you know, they were kind of fat, so I kind of flatten it out a bit because I don't want the burger to be too thick. But you know, they're nice big size since I have some nice men in my house. So I want to make sure. Look at that beautiful color. Look at that beautiful color. Also, by pressing it down, it makes it thinner, so it makes the heat penetrate a lot better. Because one thing you don't mess with is raw turkey, raw chicken. You know, it's poultry, so it has to cook thoroughly. So this right now has an absolutely beautiful color. Sometimes when you see turkey, you see this white ugly color, but look at that beautiful color. And what I'm gonna do to make sure it cooks properly, I'm gonna cover it. Normally you don't cover things when you're frying it, but I wanna make sure that all the steam that is rising is gonna penetrate so that it's cooked thoroughly. So I'm gonna cover it for like 1 minute, then I'll remove the cover and let it fry. All right, let's check it. It's been like another 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful these look, guys. Let's check the other side. Yes, nicely cooked. Nicely cooked, nicely cooked. Yep, perfect. All right, so make sure you use a clean spatula. You don't want to use the same raw spatula you used to put it in. So either use a clean spatula or wash it off like I just washed it and dried it. And then put them on a clean plate because you don't want to contaminate anything. And I know you guys know, but just in case there are any new chefs on board, we want to make sure they know. I'm pricking it. There's no liquid, no juice coming out. Perfectly cooked. And then for the yummy onions, I'm gonna share it between me and my husband because we're the ones that like the onions. The boys, not so much. All right. So let's get this plated up. Turn off the stove. Don't forget. All right. So I normally love Martin's potato rolls. They're very soft and wonderful, but I know these are more calories, and since I'm trying to be healthier, I'm gonna use multigrain bread today. So all right, so this is my bread. It's a little bit smaller. It's a big burger, but believe me, this bread is huge. So that's why it looks a little bit bigger like this. Add my onions. Usually if I have mushrooms, I would saute mushrooms, but I'm out of mushrooms right now. So I'm gonna add my mustard green. Look at all this. This is the mustard green that I cut up from outside. I'm gonna add my mustard green. I'm gonna add a couple slices because it tastes really good. It's almost like wasabi. Gonna add my tomatoes. Add my ketchup or whatever I like. Whatever you like, you add. And there it is, the world's best burger. Let's cut this and let's see what it looks like on the inside. And then I'm gonna taste it to see if it really is the best or if I'm just pretending. Oops, cut it. Oh my gosh, see? Perfectly cooked. Perfectly cooked. You can see the little tiny bits of herbs and the onions. Look at that. Look at those. Look at that. Now for the taste. Absolutely delicious. Guys, please try this. If you want to tweak it based on the different herbs you like, please add a comment. Tell me when you tried, tell me what you used, and tell me how you like it. Nothing beats having your fresh herbs from your garden, having mustard greens instead of some lettuce where you don't know where it came from, what pesticides is on it, and tasting this delicious burger. I'm getting my good carbs, I'm getting my vitamins, I'm getting my antioxidants, I'm getting my protein. I'm getting all of that without the fat. So till next time, let's plant, grow, and eat some yummy food together. Stay safe and God bless.